Now I received this question from a student, so let me see if I can do it. Now Sean carried out an experiment to find out how the amount of light shining on the plant affects the amount of water it takes in. So definitely, alright, if you're talking about aim, so she's right, this is the aim of the experiment. Okay, that's the aim. And therefore the amount of light is the one variable that will change. So we can see here there is one lamp, now there are two lamps, there are three lamps. Now let me just take a look at the rest of the setup. Notice I have not read the rest yet. I'm just trying to understand this step by step, okay? How would the amount of light shining on the plant affect the amount of water it takes in? What does it mean water it takes in? So, remember the formula for photosynthesis? You have your carbon dioxide, right, plus water. Here's where water comes in. In the presence of light and chlorophyll to give you oxygen as well as your food. Since this one asked us to talk about the amount of water, so therefore they are asking actually about the concept about rate of photosynthesis. So the higher the rate of photosynthesis, alright, if the rate is increasing, therefore the usage, so this amount will decrease more. If rate of photosynthesis is increasing, the amount of water will decrease because more will be being used to give you more oxygen and more food. Right, so that's the general idea. So based on this, if all else being equal, the amount of water here should be the least at the end of the experiment because there's more light. So there should be a greater rate of photosynthesis. Alright, because I didn't write the rest of the word. Not so easy to write using my mouse. Let me just, for the sake of completeness, okay? And the most amount of water left at the end of the experiment, assuming they are conducting the experiment in the same duration, this will be the most amount of water left. Because the rate of photosynthesis for setup A, for the plant in setup A will be the lowest. Let's check at the start of the experiment, the amount of water used is the same. So this one is the least. Okay, now we double check this already. This is the most, also double checked, is correct. So what's the purpose of the oil? Of course, is to prevent the evaporation of water to the surrounding. Alright, but why you want to prevent evaporation? Why? Because this is not your change variable. You want to change this variable. What you want to change is the amount of carbon dioxide. What you want to change here is the amount of light. What you don't want to change, and the rest that you want to keep constant will be the amount of water. You want the amount of water to stay constant, right, at the start. Because this is what you're going to measure at the end, whether it's going to change or not change. So what's the purpose why you don't want the water to evaporate? I'm going to link back to the amount of water here as what you're going to measure. So from the experimental point of view, setup point of view, to ensure the water evaporate, why? So to ensure, so you want the amount of water at the start to remain the same, and you want the decrease in the water to be only due to it being used in the process of photosynthesis. To draw this conclusion, and the conclusion is, due to the increase of rate of photosynthesis because of the increased amount of light. Therefore, you'll make sure your results are reliable, that you can rely on these results. So what's the purpose? Ensure that no water will evaporate the surroundings, so the final results are reliable. Okay. Next one, let's go on to part B. Explain why setup B. Let me just erase all this away. Okay. Explain why setup B explain why setup C has the least amount of water left after 4 days. So we talked about early on being the rate of photosynthesis, right? Is it being the highest? So that's important. So let's take a look. Explain why setup C has the least amount of water. So in this part B question, what has been given to us? Well, the claim has been given to us. Sorry, not the claim. We notice that what is given to us is setup C has the least amount of water left. That tells us, okay, they've given us that that claim already. But what's the reason? So we need to look at the evidence and the reasoning. Now, so what is the evidence? From the evidence that we can see, right? Earlier, remember there are 3 lamps. Talk about the more lights. Oh, so sorry, somehow increase in length, in size. So the amount of light is more, greater light intensity, and then your reason will be the increase in the rate of photosynthesis. Now let's take a look at your answer to see if your answer is like that. Amount of light shown in a plant was the most. Good, you have the evidence, right? Because there are 3 lamps. Which means the plant trapped the most light, therefore the rate of photosynthesis was the highest. Good, you also have the reason for this. And the amount of water taken in a plant during photosynthesis was the most. Very good. You get 2 full marks for this. You're given the evidence correctly, right? And you're given the reason correctly. And the concept is correct because the concept you managed to link it back to the rate of photosynthesis. So good job for doing your part B. For those who want to ask questions, do make sure you send good, clear, quality photos such as this to me for me to help you. Bye.